To those on the high table, Ibn Yamin, Dr. Paul Grace, Boachi Dankwa, Lawyer Hamza Suini, my respected researcher Musa Dankwa, who just spoke, and my own Deputy Communication Director, leadership of the student body that organized this program, lecturers who are here, and students who are taking up this project. Indeed, I couldn't have spent my Saturday afternoon at a better place than here. Such initiatives give hope to our democracy. But let me, without patronizing him, say something at the risk of being repetitive and adding to the superfluity of what he said. The politician in Ghana often forgets one thing: data. Data. And that is why the speaker, who has often been criticized and given names, has stood his grounds, and I'm happy he tells us that, well, he doesn't add emotions to data. But I'll share with you a life experience with data. I started my political career in 2003. That was my first attempt to be in parliament. In the primaries, I was contesting with my own uncle, that is the last born of my mom, siblings, a businessman's son, and he was a big name in Winneba called Kwesi Nana Sawyer. And here was I, a young up-and-coming businessman, a law student. I think I was 24 or 25. Anyway, 203, I was born in 78, so do the mathematics. Then a certain retired teacher called me and told me that he wants to do research for me to see my chances of winning the primaries. Not to bore you, through the research, I got to know that the delegates at the time, MPP, it was only polling station chairpersons who were voting. So I got to know from him that my stepdad's relationship with most of them was what would get me there. And when he brought the report, he was like, look, many people are saying, oh, your stepdad is a very calm person, very open-minded, he respects people. So if he has brought you up, then they have hope. So whereas my uncle was all over the place, Sawyer was all over the place, his father was a contractor, he's a big boy, and all the elderly people in Winneba were supporting the seniors out of the three of us. When we went to the vote, I won. Then the elder said, no, Yantiase, Aden, the whole Efutu presenting a small boy in parliament, Yenti. Then we fought. Eventually, President Kufuor asked me to step down. So I had to step down, though I had won my primaries. A thing that many people cannot contain, anyway. Then in 2006, this same man asked me to go to the grassroots and become an assemblyman. I said, I want to be MP. And he said I should go and contest as assemblyman. He said, yes, you must. Where you grew up, Kojo Bedu, go back. Then he initiated a research, got some graduate students to do some research. And again, the feedback was my stepdad. And then we had some old women who remembered my childhood. They say, oh, Kwame Naze was Sumana Oko. Open Biasman Oko, Obaze, and I was getting the feedback. And there were some critics who were also wondering, why should a young man be rich? Where did he get his money? So, guided by the research, I tailored my message. And when we went for the assembly elections, I won overwhelmingly. Though the district assembly elections is not partisan, but you know, politicians always have a way of doing things. My party had its preferred candidate, and I beat that person. Although I was MPP, I was not the choice of the party for the electoral area. Then came 2008 primaries again. And the same man was guiding me on how to go about it. And it was clear that it was going to be a tie. 45 people voting. If you get 23, you've won. And we fought. Some 2 people deceived us. We managed to pull one through. Then it became 22-22. Then the regional executive said, okay, the incumbent MP, who I was challenging, had a casting vote. And guess what? Would he vote for me? He voted for himself. So it became 23-22. So I lost out. I couldn't go to parliament. 2008 MPP lost in Winneba. The parliamentary seats, the NDC candidate won with over 3,500 votes. And everybody abandoned the party. So I took it upon myself to reorganize the party. Again, guided by data. This time, I managed to win the primaries overwhelmingly and the main elections of 2012. I was contesting against a cabinet minister. At the time, my opponent was a huge brand in Winneba and even in government, because at a point, he was the acting finance minister. And every electoral area where we campaigned, the message was, he's a small boy. I think I was 32, 33. Small boy, small boy. Even NPP people, oh, if he wins, he won't be a minister. And you know, Winneba is a conservative community. They saw civilization very early. In 1922, Winneba had pipe-borne water. In 1918, Winneba had a police station. In 1928, Winneba had a government hospital. Somewhere in the 50s, Winneba had the first training college, Government Gold Coast College of Education. It was in Winneba. So Winneba is a big place. Cocoa trading, it was a place for exports. So they don't joke with their image and all. So it was a big deal. Now, guided by data, and we had cluster of research. And you see, a week to election, the researchers brought their report. And they told me in the face, like the way Mr. Musa Dankwa just said. They said, look, we want to be unemotional with you. You are going to lose the election. All the elderly people don't think you are the man. You are too young. There are some areas you are campaigning, you are wasting your time. Don't go there. If you go, it won't change anything. Focus in certain areas. So just as we're about to close the meeting, one of the researchers said he had something to say. He said, okay, bring it up. He said, okay, you know, if we can organize a program where you and your opponent can have a debate, at least it will tell the people something. So we had a strategy and we had a debate, and our opponent fell into the trap. He participated in the debate. And he gave me the opportunity to sell my vision. And in Winneba, the 2 radio stations, all the elderly people were listening. And after the debate, the entire Winneba burst into jubilation. Hey, Alex, oh, Alex. Alex, oh, Alex. Hey, what's happening? They say, you win. So within 1 week, and that is why I listened carefully to him, and those of you who are going to have a career in this research, marketing for politicians, you pay attention. It's not over until it's over. Based on that, we're able to touch the hearts of those who were unsure about me. And in the election, clearly it was skirt and blouse. President Akufo-Addo, then the candidate, lost by less than 150 votes, and I won with 2,000 votes. It was a big shock because Ben Efson had also conducted a research, and it was clear that I wasn't going to make it. And truly, all the areas they predicted came true. So the people that we are working with, they pay attention to a lot of things. And I share something else with you. 2016 elections, the NDC candidate, his dad was a Winnebarian, his mom a Russian. He could not speak Fanti, could not speak Tree, he could not speak any Ghanaian language. My mom is a Fanti woman from Winneba, a royal. My dad is an Anloman. And we had the election. I won. 10,000 difference. But I studied the results, and I realized that Akosia village, the Ever community, the guy beat me. I was hurt. I said, my own people. But I was not upset with them. I studied the result. I said, no, I need to do research. So I engaged 3 different research groups to go to the village and find out why. Because as far as I know, when my dad was the Greek officer in the 70s, he was buying them fish wares, supporting them, and daddy came to talk to them. So what's the problem? I got to know why. Then came 2016. And there's something funny. As you are getting into politics, you get to know. You see, on the day of elections, at the polling station, if you are a good politician, and the people are in the queue, and you are winning, you will know. So, 2016, I got to Akosia village, and then they were in the queue. Togbi, Achaglini. Then they will use their hand. They'll give you a sign, giving you eye. I was scared. But if they don't want to, they are not voting for you. They look straight. You look at them. Nobody will look. If you get good morning, they won't even mind you. Then you know that things are not well. And that's what happened in 2016. They look straight. They are so serious. They are anxious to go and vote. So I won. And I maintain it. When the 2024 data came, I said to myself, this thing is serious. I had read Musa Dankwa's research reports, and I organized some people to do some work for me, and they shared similar data. I asked myself, anyway, because there's an internal contest, let me tell it here. No, I don't want this great conversation to be misconstrued. So, you let me leave you here. There will be another opportunity to have a discussion. So, I think that we need to understand how data react to our actions. Back in the days at Kivas, it was difficult for a student to associate himself with NDC. When we were at the university, if you want to contest for leadership on campus, and anybody there says you are an NDC, you will lose. No student wanted to hear NDC. So the NDC boys, they were hiding to do their meetings. They won't do their meetings in the open. But MPP TESCON took things for granted. And there was a time I was commending NDC for their transformation. It was misconstrued. Today, I won't let any fear grip me. I will face the reality and let people misconstrue it. But that is the reality. Our friends in the NDC decided not to give up. They went into rebranding of their party. They branded their party to make it attractive to students. I remember Casford Hall, my own cousin, was contesting for Casford Hall presidency. I was his campaign manager. Last minute he lost. And after the election, we were told that, there was some NDC pickup at Ogwao Hall area. And he was talking to the president. Somebody used as campaign propaganda. So that is what made the student vote against him. But today, 10 may even be popular than TESCON. Today, students are able to proudly say, I'm NDC, because of the branding. So the NDC, MPP people listening, listen well and stop sleeping. When we won the first time in the year 2000, we were so happy. The NDC was devastated. They even feared to go to the radio stations. But within 2 years, they brought themselves together. To the extent that by 2004, they were able to reclaim some of the seats we snatched from them in 2000. By 2008, they had made themselves formidable to snatch power. Then we went back to prepare ourselves for 2016 after the disappointment in 2012, and we got back power. Got the highest majority seats ever, 169. Again, we went to sleep. We thought it was all about free SHS. Whereas our friends were breaking it into pieces and crashing the impact of free SHS. I'm sure all of you are free SHS products. Majority of you are. Yes. Of course, majority of you are free SHS products. That is true. Hello. Lend me your ears. We are having a good conversation. And when we had a 169, again we went to sleep. And our friends rebranded. In fact, some people even thought it was over for JL. He's lost by over 1 million. But in politics, branding, packaging is everything. Of course. So if you are aspiring to be a political strategist, take this from me. Branding, packaging is everything. So within 8 years, our friends could come and create a deficit of 2.1 million for us. And even our mighty 88, they have managed to snatch one to make it mighty 87. But all too soon, they have forgotten themselves. They have started sliding and they don't see it. They have forgotten the jobs issue, the 24-hour economy, they seem to have forgotten. The Galamsey, they promised they are going to deal with it. They have forgotten. Central region, the water is not flowing. Water's bodies polluted. The gold bond that was set up, beautiful idea. But I warned them in Parliament that it was going to promote Galamsey, and that is what is happening. Gentlemen and ladies, situation is getting out of hand, and that is a reality. And our friends should not take that great image they have for granted. It's getting out of hand. By January next year, the youth will begin to ask about the jobs. At that point, it's no more about going to say this or that. It's not about the song, and it's not about anything again. You can't continue to blame the Akufo-Addo government anymore. They will need the deliverables. Today, if you are a political opponent and you are not careful, you get arrested for criticizing the government. They say causing fear and panic. These are the things that politicians take for granted when they get power. And in the end, before they realize it's too late to recover. Yesterday I was sat in court. I brought the ruling of the judge. I was the lead counsel for Abronye. And because we are in an academic environment, though you are not lawyers, I want you to just Google after here the case of Tagore versus the Republic. It's a court of appeal decision. Tagore. It was Dr. Ayeni who did that case on appeal, where the court of appeal said that the fact that a case gains notoriety in public space, it doesn't whittle down the requirement to meet all the ingredients to be proven to find the person guilty. And that the prosecution must lead evidence. So you hear of a matter, it's being discussed on social media, and we think it's sufficient, the person is guilty. Tagore was freed by the Court of Appeal on those cocaine-related charges because the Court of Appeal felt that prosecution could not do a good job. So if somebody is alleged to have committed an offense, what the police is supposed to do is to have all the patience to investigate and follow due process. Ladies and gentlemen, sometimes we get impatient, but the best way to sustain democracy is to ensure that institutions work, and they work for the good of all. So yesterday, a judge receives Abronye in his court. Earlier in the week, the police go to him. The prosecutor says to the judge, I want you to remand him till Friday. Then he also granted. Yesterday we were in court. This is what the judge said. Listen to him. He's a judge. Listen to him. He says, quote, accused person before the court is facing 2 charges of misdemeanor. Misdemeanor is a lesser offense, an offense that means nothing, really. If you are convicted, it's a fine. Then you go home. This is important. He said, however, in this instant case, the court will not look at only the charges being misdemeanor, but will extend it to the position of the IGP to the country. That is the head of the police service. The words which came from the accused person is likely to put the security of the nation into disrepute. Then he goes further to worsen the matter. He says, it is always said that all persons are equal persons But in practice, it is not so. Then he quotes George Orwell's satire, The Animal Farm. One of the commandments is that all men are equal, but some are equal than others. Translated into this case, all men are equal, but some are more equal than others. This is what the judge said. To remand Abronye into custody again. If you are a judge and you're remanding somebody into custody, what you are basically saying is that if the person is granted bail, he may not come to court for trial, or he would interfere in the investigation. The judge did not say this in his ruling. He says that the matter involves IGP, and all men are not the same. So if you are involved in a matter with somebody who is considered a big person in society, you go to jail. Such a dangerous precedent. If we don't talk about it, where would be our democracy? And ladies and gentlemen, I am privileged to have been part of ECOWAS Parliament. I have roamed through the sub-region. Ghana stands tall, but we can make it better. So I would want to encourage our friends in government today. Let's not create too much space for excesses of governance. Let us push away the extremists out of the fray. Let's take them away and allow the moderates to take charge. Both sides, MPP, NDC. I recall, for the 8 years of our administration, some of us took it upon ourselves to create that bridge, behind the scenes engagement, to ensure that the temperature was brought down, especially when it comes to dealing with opponents. Colleagues in Parliament will attest to this. I wouldn't go into details. I am saddened by some of the things that I see. And if our friends really want to give a certain lasting image to Mr. President, especially so when this is his last term and they want a legacy for him, they would advise the hardliners to get off the stage. Maybe now they are not feeling it. Though it will be to their political disadvantage, but it affects the image of the country and all of us. So I will plead with governments, be measured, be humane. Let's focus on the deliverables that will transform our people. Of course, that is not to say that there should be no accountability. After all, when you get into public office, you should have at the back of your mind that someday you would have to account. So if Iyoko is inviting a former appointee, so be it. But due process must be followed. Iyoko must not say you have come until you post 100 million bail bond, you are not going home. Then you stay there for 14 days, like it happened to Mr. Adnan, the former Buffer Stock Chief Executive. Kofi Palu has been in for over a week because of onerous bail conditions, administrative bail conditions that are very onerous, and it is clear it is aimed at punishing. As a minority leader, the least I talk about the threat I receive, the better. Even yesterday, somebody threatened me. Is that what we need for our democracy? Sometimes when people criticize you, it straightens you, it helps you. To the extent that the person is not abusing you but expressing a view, I think we should tolerate it. Why would a national vice chairperson of a ruling party openly say, if I had come to meet Afenyo-Markin, I would have killed him, and gone ahead to say there would have been by-election in his constituency? Is it fair? Student, is it right? No. It doesn't matter. We don't have to go there. You don't. And you see, this is a warning to those of us who are in political leadership. And I'm happy the researcher who spoke before me discussed this. The way social media is operating now, if care is not taken and the youth lose trust in the two political parties, they will take over and we'll find ourselves in Nsawam. And they will not listen to you because you have told them that there's no need for due process. And those, my colleagues in politics who have ears, should hear me and hear me well. It may be faster than we think if we don't sit up to focus on governance, and we will repeat this vicious cycle of you do me, I do you. One day, the youth will get up and say, you these two people, MPP, NDC, we realize that you are not serious. So when we vote for you, you come. Then you misbehave. Then you go. Then another will come. We are tired of you. Both of you, we don't need politics again. We are taking over. We should be careful, so that we give confidence to the people. And with that, I'm sure they would aspire to be part of the governance of the country. I want to thank you for the gracious opportunity granted me to share my thoughts with you. I wish you well. Ghana is all we have as students. It's good you've taken this up and you've invited us to share our perspectives with you in your academic exercise. God bless you, and may long live this university.